So, റീബ അല്ലേ ആദ്യം എടുക്കുന്നേ?
അതെ മിസ്, അതെ മിസ്.
Okay, very good morning. So today our session is basically on unearth and LMS system. The first session will be presented by Reba Raju on the topic of unearth. We are welcoming you, Reba, for your discussion.
Hello, is it audible? Hello. Good morning, friends. My seminar topic is unearth as learning resources. So I will share my screen. Is it visible, miss?
Yes, Reba.
So my topic is unearth as learning resource. Before moving to the topic, you must know about what is learning resource. Learning, it is a process of bringing changes in behavior of the learner through experience. It results in acquisition of knowledge, skill, interest, attitude, etc. Resource, we know that resource is a source from which benefit is produced. So what is learning resource? Simply means the resource which helps in learning is known as learning resources. Learning resources are those devices and procedures that help to make teaching and learning more interesting, more stimulating, more reinforcing, and more effective. So my topic is unearth. Unearth we can use as a learning resource. So unearth means agency for non-conventional energy and rural technology. That is, it give more importance for non-conventional energies such as solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, bioenergy, etc. So it is a organization working under Government of Kerala, established in 1985 with headquarters Trivandrum. Unearth is guided by a governing body chaired by the Minister of Electricity. So we can look through the objectives of unearth. Main objective of unearth are gather and disseminate useful knowledge in various fields of non-conventional energy, energy conservation, and rural technology. Also, it conducts studies and projects in these fields and thereby deal with the problems arising out of one rapid depletion of conventional energy sources. The other objective of UNERT is update the technologies used in rural areas as well as introduce appropriate new technology with an aim to reduce drudgery, increase production and improve quality of life. So many programs are conducted by UNERT. The major programs are solar photovoltaic program, solar thermal energy program, wind energy program, bioenergy program, microtidal program, rural technology program. These are the main major programs conducted by UNERT. The governing body of UNERT is the chairman is Honorable Minister of Power, that means electricity. Vice chairman is the Secretary of Government Department of Power of Government of Kerala. The 10 members are there. The Secretary Planning and Economic Affairs and the Principal Secretary of Local Self-Government, the Secretary of Government Finance, the Chairman of KSCB, also the director Energy Management Center Trivandrum. The other members are the Chief Electrical Inspector, the Secretary Kerala State Council for Science, Technology and Environment, Director HRD, that means MNRE Government of India. MNRE means Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and Resources. Also the Director Center for Wind Energy Technology, the Chairman Institute of Engineers India. These are the members of UNERT. That means ANERT is a better known by its acronym ANERT and has become a synonym for renewable source of energy and energy conservation in the state. That is, it gives more important for non-conventional energies and conserve the renewable energy resources. These are the main important points of ANERT. I think you clear about the topic ANERT. Thank you.
Reba, what happened?
Kindly say and conclude ചെയ്തായിരുന്നല്ലോ. കേട്ടില്ല മിസ്സേ.
Do you complete it?
യെസ് മിസ്, യെസ് മിസ്. കൺക്ലൂഷൻ
No, so
കണ്ടില്ലായിരുന്നു, കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ലായിരുന്നു.
the presentation was there. Do you concluded it? Because there was some problem with technical problem, so that's why I'm asking you. Completed, right?
പറ്റുന്നില്ലായിരുന്നു മിസ്സേ.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
മനസ്സായിരിക്കുന്നു.
Okay. Okay. So, am I audible?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what she mentioned about what is ANERT, what is the full form of ANERT. Before that, I want to tell you there are different governmental and non-governmental agencies that was there, which really keeps up for the innovative ideas, or we have to say technology adaptations. Like new technological interventions that has to come to the society for the welfare of the society. The agency which really give much importance to renewable energy. What is renewable and non-renewable energy? Example for renewable energy. What's example for? Can you give me an example for renewable and non-renewable energy?
Solar energy, wind energy, sunlight.
Wind energy is a
renewable energy.
Renewable energy. Very good. Okay, so what is non-renewable then?
Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels. Okay, very good. So fossil fuels, nuclear energy, or all natural gas, all that type of energy which we cannot create, or which can come to an limit, or which can extend. That is non-renewable energy. And renewable energy are those which is already existing, and to some extent it will long. So that is renewable energy, you know that. So one thing is, it is very important. Renewable energy is very important. Without it, we cannot sustain. Without it, non-renewable energy to some extent we can sustain, because It's not that much needed. It can add some facility for us, but in the case of renewable energy, we cannot sustain with that, because that's the energy source of a human being, energy source. That is sun, or we can say soil, or wind, or trees, or something, anything like that, that is very much needed. So we have to preserve it. If we cannot preserve it, we cannot sustain. So ANERT is one type, such type of an agency, and she mentioned about full form. You have to know the full form of ANERT. As an agency of non-conventional energy and rural technology, you have to know. And he explained about when it came, where is the headquarters and the mission. All this she explained. One thing I want to add to that is the different programs that is really there. I don't know whether I am telling all the programs, but some programs I want to tell you. One is SPV, the program SPV, that is Solar Photovoltaic Program. Solar Photovoltaic Program, SPV. This is, as from the name itself, you know that it is related with which energy?
Solar energy.
Solar energy.
Solar energy, yes. That is, this program is for public, which distributes devices to the public for solar energy. നമ്മുടെ വീടുകളിലൊക്കെ ഈ പറയുന്ന സോളാർ സംഭവം നമുക്ക് തരുന്ന ഗവൺമെന്റിന്റെ ഏജൻസിയാണ്. Solar agency അല്ല, program. Agency is the ANERT and the program is Solar Photovoltaic Program. Like that, another one is ഇത് മാത്രമല്ല, they are giving many other things like street lights, പിന്നെ അതുപോലെ many systems which really was under solar energy. They have various small projects. They are sanctioning very small projects under this particular program, and giving importance to solar energy. Okay, so they are getting some financial support from central ministry also in this regard. Another one is Solar Thermal Energy Program. Thermal Energy Program, that is, they are providing some agricultural equipments, or we have to say thermal energy requirements. That is Thermal Energy Program. There's another one like biogas, or if you want water heater, something like that, they will provide it, and some like heater in farm. I don't know how it really, because I'm not that much familiar with farm technology, but it is a very, that it is a very high technology we are using inside farms, well equipped farms. So they have many small projects as well as grand projects in farms, then in cooking appliances, then industrial purposes, their thermal processes. As we know that, in rubber plantation also thermal heating is going on. There also they have some equipments. Then that is there. So another one, space heating is there. Then about water chlorination, that water thermal way of chlorination process followed by water distillation, and all this type of things. All those which really programs which need thermal, what we have to say, thermal processes. That is what they are doing in this particular project. Another project is they have wind energy program. That is wind usage in different, that's based on the location, how much wind is there. We are not getting that much wind as we are getting it in the north. So it will come when you're going to Munnar or some other places like that, you will have some more usage of there. They are using wind energy to some extent. So that is based on the wind potential of different locations of Kerala. They are using that. Then we know that there is some, what we have to say, some wind using that is generator, something was also there, and some farms are also there. So that all there in different places in Kerala, which is really working under this program. So another one is bioenergy. We know that biogas, bioenergy, usage of the reuse of, we can have to say, usage of waste, that is waste to new fertilizers. So biogas plants in homes, now it is becoming more and more popular day by day. So that is becoming our custom now, by day. So that's another one. So that's another project of this particular agency. And now the other thing is, now what we are doing in home is we are converting our waste to fertilizer. But then there is another some projects like they are converting this biogas into heat and electricity. Some other projects are going on that also. How this gas can be converted into heat and electricity. So that's another thing. So another program is that is women empowerment. Another that is women empowerment. That is really I don't know much about that project, but because it's that much popular in Kerala. I think it's some smoke-free context, something like that. We are not using that much smoke. But it is a national program. If anybody of you know about it, you can tell me about that. That is a national program on Chal Hai, something like that. National program on Chal Hai, it was called. And that was really for women. That program was really for women. And it was for just a selected villages to make them some smoke-free, something like that. Really, maybe because of that program, this our Prime Minister Narendra Modi was really giving gas, free gas for some selected villages in India, right? There was ഇങ്ങനെ ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ട് ഗ്യാസ് സ്റ്റവ് കൊടുത്തു എന്നൊരു പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നല്ലോ. ഒരു പക്ഷെ അതായിരിക്കാം ഈ പറയുന്ന സ്മോക്ക് ഫ്രീ വില്ലേജസ് എന്നുള്ള ഒരു മിഷനിൽ ആരംഭിച്ച ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്രോഗ്രാം. മേ ബി ദാറ്റ് not that much. It was called Smokeless Chalha, something. That program was termed like that. If anyone know more about it, you can tell me that. Then, along with that, all these programs are there. All these programs are there, but we didn't. If any of us, any of the persons in India who is not aware about the scope, if you are interested, but you are not aware that how to use this or how to make use of it in my life, you can have some workshops or training programs about it. And that is also coordinated by ANAT. So basically, we know that ANAT is for renewable energy conservation. So they are doing everything for environment. They are taking care much about environment, and they are doing everything in positive. We can say now we are using the word green for environment, like so they are doing everything in green nature. I have to say like that. Green is in apostrophe. I want to say green means it is by safeguarding the environment. That is what it is. So that is it about ANAT. So thank you, Riba, for your presentation. If I'm giving time, anyone know about what is that smoke-free Chalha, about that program? Did anyone heard about it before? Okay. It is a project, maybe that. I think so. നിങ്ങൾ കേട്ട് കാണുമല്ലോ, ഫസ്റ്റ് നരേന്ദ്ര മോദിജിയുടെ സർക്കാരിന്റെ കീഴിൽ കുറെ സ്ത്രീകൾക്ക് ഫ്രീ ആയിട്ട് ഗ്യാസ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. that was the other two mission was giving gas to ladies and confirming toilets to villages. ഈ രണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളായിരുന്നു അവരെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്. രണ്ടും വലിയ ഗ്രാൻഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള രണ്ട് പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടാണെന്ന് സെൻട്രൽ മിനിസ്റ്ററി എടുത്തത്. Maybe that national program, maybe this one Chalha Smokeless Free Chalha program by ANERT. Okay, now I'm inviting Renju, and Renju is going to discuss a very different topic, that is something very different to ANERT, that is learning management system. Okay, ANERT, now you can start your discussion. Renju, are you there? You're not audible, Renju. Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So, I'm going to discuss about learning management. Okay, we know about Google Classroom.
Renju? What happened to Renju? Do she can't join back?
Am I audible?
Yes, Renju.
Teacher, PPT visible ആണോ?
ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ഷെയർ ചെയ്യൂ. ഇപ്പോൾ വിസിബിൾ ആണ്.
Okay, teacher. All today I'm going to discuss about learning management. We know the Google Classroom is mostly familiar. What LMS? LMS stands for Management for it is educational institute to manage that lectures and instructions submit assignments, communicate with each other and make important announcements online. So it is used by schools, college, universities, and the system helps them design and manage online classroom teaching and in so it helps lectures and just in announcement for students. So in addition, then learning goals and track who use LMS. So it is LMS is an ideal online learning for college, universities, government agencies, business, trade associations, and hospitals and libraries. So there are so many applications of LMS. It's typically it's used for administration, assessment, course management. So the advantages of LMS, then this application includes learning programs, course and online events, documentation, forms to interact with students and teachers. So the LMS is a centralized online education hub. And educators can create and manage lessons, assign quizzes, and grade students. It serves an open communication channel between teacher, students, parents, and administrative staff. The most clear example of LMS today. Model or modular object oriented environment. Then modular design makes it easy to create new courses that will engage learners. It was originally developed by Martin. Then Moodle came out of a PhD project in 1999. The first version of Moodle was released on 20th August 2002. Learners can log in anytime, anywhere to interact with the course and specify and language they wish to use. Moodle then one click and you can view activity from all participants in the course. Then viewing assignment, journal submission, adding grades and comments are done from a single page that displays all enrolled students. I'm moving to a control section. LMS flexible and highly effective learning path. That is way more meaningful than the mass-produced learning. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Renju. Okay. So I think you understood what is learning management system, and you are also now using learning management system. First of all, we have some regular traditional system of education in which teacher and student are interacting face to face. After that, we have another option of flipped classroom. That is, teacher will teach, student will learn from the teacher. At the same time, from some other resources also, the teacher can get information. The student can get teacher and the student can get information, and students will learn something from not only from teachers but from other resources also. But after that, there also a great role of teacher was existing. But after that, what happened is that all the things that what a teacher do can be performed by a particular system. That was learning management system. In learning management system, as we already discussed about that, all the processes like administration, documentation, answering questions, learning, teaching, delivering contents, then training programs, all these things is easily possible through learning management system. And we are calling it by another name like e-learning. E-learning is also part of learning management system. Really, it came to existence in 1990, and what it really focused is just online delivery of learning contents. That is what they really mean. Learning management on the first phase, they really mean that. But it never meant that by 1990 only learning management system came existence. No, before that also there is some other way of learning management system like programmed instruction. I think you're familiar with the linear branch mathematics programmed instruction. That was also learning management in one way or another. But the new format of learning management came to existence only in 1990s. What was the peculiarity was that it was really updating day by day. In another one, in programmed instruction and all this, once we are doing something, it is there as it is. We cannot update it because what we are written like in paper, if you are writing with the pencil, you can rub it, you can write it. But when you are writing with pen, we may argue that there is a chance for rubbing or erasing, but usually it's not that much effective. Once we written, it is there. We cannot change it. We can add more, but we cannot change what we are writing or what we are written. Same time in a programmed instruction also, programmed instruction you can add more, But one thing we've written once, it is there as it is. But when it comes to the new era of technology, you can edit, you can update. That is another thing. That is that causes a wide range of resources, a wide range of facts or contents. What happened later is, it was only contents at the first stage. Now we come to courses. Different courses they are providing, online courses. And all of us are doing various online courses at the same time. If you are not doing it, it is not that good for you, because everyone is doing more than one or two courses, online courses at a time. And they are writing exams also, they are getting certificates also. So we have to do it like that. That will help you a lot in your future. At least take something that you are interested. If you are interested in music, you can take online courses on music. If you are interested with something media, go for media. Interested with cookery, you go for cookery. Whatever you are interested, you are interested. Because why I'm telling like that is, in NP 2020, they are mentioning about this type of interdisciplinary courses. By 4 to 5 years, every courses will become interdisciplinary. Like that, all those who completing before that policy will become all DERA students. In 1998 or something, 98, 99, pre-degree was stopped and plus 2 started. Just 1 year. Just 1 year. It was a difference of just 1 year, 90 or 99, something like that. And all those who completed pre-degree become all DERA students. Oh, you've done pre-degree. That means you are very old. You are very old. And all those who completed plus 2, they become very new era students, because they are belongs to plus 2 candidate, right? So like that, it will come that there is a I have this distinction between those who completed that policy, education based on that policy, and education based on this policy. And what the thing is, if you are completing education based on the old policy along with some additions that was already existing in new thing, that is interdisciplinary. As you know that in NBE 2020, they are telling you can study what you want to study. If a physics student a physics student had to study physics, chemistry, and maths. No choice. You have to study like that. But if you want to, after this, when it come to existence, NBE 2020 come to existence, you want to study music with physics, you can study music with physics. First is physics main, music second main, like that. You can opt how much papers you want. You can, along with it, you want to study fashion designing, stitching. You can study, no problem. In such a way, the education is going to change. So take online courses, because if you have that much certificates with you, it will help you a lot. Okay. So I'm telling it just an addition. Now we are availing, the LMS is now availing the online courses, not only online content. And especially you will get certificates from higher educations, which we can't do it directly. If you want to be a student of Cambridge, it is not that much easy. You can't go there and have a student of Cambridge now. But in online courses, it's easy for you to join Cambridge University. Just go for Coursera and join a Cambridge University, complete one course. You are getting one certificate from Cambridge University. Can you dream that you will get one certificate from Cambridge University, or you will get some certificate from Stanford University now? But you will get it within 1 year. So it is dreams in especially when we are getting universal certificates. I have to tell like that universal certificate is valid wherever you are going, that you are a student of Oxford, you are a student of Cambridge. It is really valid. Okay, so do like that. That's all. Just I was telling that it will add for your career a lot. So online courses. So that is now online courses are must available in higher education courses. These are all part of learning management systems, like she mentioned about Moodle. So that's another thing, that is Moodle is available, and that's it. And she mentioned about different characteristics of that, advantages of this particular thing. And above all, the thing is, they are providing multimedia learning. That is, you can learn by text, you can learn by audio, you can learn by video. Okay. And they are providing questions, the review questions for you. So that's really great. Okay. So I told you, like, it was existing even before 1990, means about programmed instruction. That was in 1924. Old Prusy gave teaching machine. So in 1924, from that they are giving this type of LMS systems. But now we are getting much more chances. The teaching machine is nothing. They are just giving drill and practice. But now we have audio, video, text. Then you can have interaction. You have discussion forums. You can discuss your reviews with international people. Like all those experts which you are seeing in your textbooks, right? You can talk to them. Butch, I think many persons. I was just thinking. I was saw somebody. Now I'm not remembering the name. Some persons whom I found in textbooks in one discussion forum. So like that, you will get much chances to deal with international persons, which we can find only in textbooks. If you are going for LMS management, I mean LMS systems. Another one, that is one thing. So different things are there when you are coming about learning management system. You have to note how it helps a lot, and now it become an industry. It's a very corporate industry. Okay, like what she mentioned, like Moodle, Blackboard, or Canvas, or many. So much of systems, MOOC, all these are different systems. So the most important thing is they are providing you opportunities, not only opportunities, equity in opportunities. I have to say, all of you 20 join, you will get equal chances, equal opportunities. And the question is how much we are making use of that. And we are having new approaches to learning also. Learning become a part of your life, not for 1 year, 2 year like that. Learning become a part of your life, and it will make you always refreshed in your life. Otherwise, if you are not learning, what will happen is you will die. That never means that you will die by body. That is not what we are meaning. But the mind must be always refreshed. Then only we can say that I am living, I am active, I am living. If you are living for others, it's good, really good. But whenever we are living for others, we have to think for ourselves. Even Mahatma Gandhi, who was our father of our nation, he done many things for the nation. But at the same time, he thought much about himself. That's why he wrote a book, My Experiments with Truth. Otherwise, do you think your mother is going to write a book on herself? She may have more experiences than your Gandhi. I'm not underestimating Gandhi. I mean, every person is having experiences. But at the same time, you have to think that how much importance we are giving to ourselves. And this learning management system is the best opportunity for every learner to refresh themselves always in life. That's why I told you that I am writing exams again and again. I don't know why. Last month also I had one exam, and she was showing that I am going to write exam because she is staying here. So I had completed PhD, and many of my friends, family friends, was asking, she is still making use of your money for writing exams. To my husband, somebody was asking, she is still making use of your money for studying and exams. Why you are using the money for that? She already completed B.Ed. Oh, sorry, not PhD. Why she is doing? But it's our thing that it's our duty that we have to refresh. We have to refresh our knowledge. We have to refresh our thought, our brain. Then only we can make ourselves believe that we are living, we are active, and we are really useful for myself and for others. So that's really good. Thank you for Renchu and Reba for the presentation and discussion. Okay. I think today we have so much of network problems. Many are coming and going.